Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, or perhaps good night. This is Hamish. Welcome to another Verbling class. In this class, we're going to be looking at the best ways and the best strategies to prepare for a job interview when that job interview is with an English-speaking country, or of course, perhaps in an English-speaking company. So I'm going to wait for students to appear, of course. These first 2 minutes of the Verbling classes are now for premium users, which means if you absolutely have to get a seat in that class, you can upgrade your membership to premium, and then you can guarantee yourself a spot in that class. So if that's something you are interested in doing, if you're frustrated by not being able to get a spot in the class, please upgrade your membership to premium, and then in those first 2 minutes, you have an opportunity to get one of those seats. So people saying hello in the chat room. While we wait for those 2 minutes to finish elapsing and see if any students want to take that premium slot. Yes, that's right, exactly. Once those 2 minutes have gone, that the join class button will go green, and you'll be able to join the class as normal. This class is, I think, is going to be relatively simple today, and really we're just going to look at the kinds of questions that interviewers ask. Then we're going to think about, well, why do they ask these questions? We can really break it down into 4 basic things that interviewers and companies want to know about you. And when we think about it that way, if we just think, okay, there really are only 4 things they want to know, that can make it a little simpler for us to plan for an interview and to prepare and to practice as well, to practice giving confident and descriptive and clear and communicative answers, and hopefully to give us a much better chance of getting the job that we want. Those 4 things that the 4 things. Oh, there we go. I knew I was at the 2 minute mark there. Eric, hello, Eric. Oh, Eric, do you have your if you unmute your microphone, you can speak to me and I can hear you. I can't hear you yet. Yes, Eric. There's a. Oh, I see you're in the chat room.
Hello, teacher. You can hear me?
There we go. I can hear you now. Eric, tell me, welcome, and tell me, how are you?
I'm pretty fine, and today was Verbling work fine today, because some days you can find a seat in Verbling.
Yes, and today you found a seat in class, so I'm very glad to meet you. Eric, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Dominican Republic, the land for the sun and sun.
Okay, very nice. I've never been, but I'm jealous. I'm jealous of you think you get better weather there? I think so.
Yeah, you are in the United States, teacher?
I'm in Tennessee, which is in the south of the United States, and a lot of the time it's absolutely beautiful here in Tennessee, but we have quite a hard winter, so it's still pretty cold here. Tell me, Eric, what kind of work are you looking for, or what kind of work are you doing now?
I was looking for work in college. They are once they really happen in your country, they dump many jobs. Mm-hmm. They are just jumping in your country. They are jumping here in my country.
Okay.
I will have a lot of company working in call center for customer service, selling things. Right now we have many companies in call center focus on translation and medical translation, and giving survey by the phones and video games, customer service. A lot of all about customer service and telemarketing are the same, because they try to selling things. And I try to find a job or opportunity in the business, because there are a lot of call center in my towns. I live in Santiago, Los Caballeros.
Mm-hmm.
And Santo Domingo is the capital of my country. And Santo Domingo and Santiago, there are a lot of call center. And I
Okay.
want to find a job because they pay 20,000 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
it will be like $600 per month.
Okay. Okay.
It's a
So,
good, it's a good salary.
no, sure. So this is that's the kind of your work that you're looking for, and that's the kind of business that you want to work in. And Eric, that's really helpful for me to know, and for everyone in the class to know. We're going to try and see how many different jobs, how many different kinds of jobs that we're looking at in today's class. But the truth is, the questions that employers ask, the things that they want to know, I bet we'll find that they're pretty similar, the things that they're looking for. So Eric, you were first here today. Welcome, and thanks for joining our class. I'm going to say hello to everybody else before we start. Derazi, how are you? Oh, apologies if I didn't say. Is it Derazi?
Rosalie?
Oh, Derazi Ali. Yeah.
Rosalie. Yes, teacher. I'm fine.
Oh no,
I'm
yeah, no. Please say hello. I was I think Derazi doesn't have her microphone on, but let me. Rosalie, yes. Tell me, where are you from, Rosalie?
I'm from Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I used to watch verbally.
Uh-huh.
I don't used to participate. I just watch the class, and I came here to watch a little more
Mm-hmm.
because I like English. In fact, not because I have a um, I use in job. That's not the reason. I just study English because I like.
Okay. Okay. And well, welcome, Rosalie, to class. It's great to have you here, and I hope you get some good practice here today.
Yes.
Let me see. I want to say hello to Mina. Hello, Mina.
Yes, sir.
How are you today? Welcome back.
My pleasure.
Remind me, Mina, what are you studying or are you working right now?
I'm from Egypt and I'm taking English course
Okay,
right now, current.
right. So you're studying at the moment. What kind of job would you like? What kind of business would you like to work in?
Network technician.
Okay, so information technology, computing, that kind of thing. Network.
Yes.
Check. All right, I got it. Okay, good to see you again, Mina. Thanks. I know we'll speak more later on today.
Welcome.
All right. Can I say hello to? Is it Mina?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
This is Mina. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Mina. I am from Turkey, Istanbul original.
Mm-hmm.
However, I live in USA now.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I work as a research assistant.
Okay. What kind of research is that?
The biochemical research.
Okay, biochemical. And whereabouts are you in the United States?
Vermont.
Vermont, very nice. Very cold, but very nice.
It is really cold here.
The winter will end eventually, I promise you.
Not here. Not here.
I've been to
wish
Vermont in the
winter
summer.
is as soon, but it's not here. I think so.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. You've still got a month or two, but well, I hope it warms up. And good to meet you, Minnie. I look forward to speaking with
Me
you
too.
in this class. Let me see. Samet. Hello, Samet. Samet, how are you? Oh. Can you hear me, Samet? Samet Ane, have a look at your settings. I'm going to move on until you fix that. Oh, that looks like Cyrillics to me. I can't say your name. How do I say your name? Good sir. Okay, I'm not having some very good luck today, am I? Let's see. Koji. Hello, Koji. Koji, can you hear me okay? Oh, okay. I'm having
Yes.
some. Aha, Koji.
How are you,
Hello.
Hamish?
Hello. I'm very good. How are you today?
Hello. Yeah. Oh, I'm fine. Facing some network issues here, but it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, where are you from, Koji?
I am from Brazil.
From Brazil. And what kind of are you studying or are you working at the moment?
I work. I work with information technology. I work as a project manager, but at the moment I'm looking for a new job.
Ah, very good. Okay. And are you looking for a similar kind of job? Do you still want to work in project management and information technology, or do you want to do something different?
No, this is my area work, and I need this kind of job and for.
Okay, and Koji, yeah, your sound is coming in and out. I mean, I understood your point. I mean, you're working in the IT business, and then you want to continue to work in that business, but for a different employer, and of course that's a very common situation to be in when we're committed to working in one business, but perhaps we want some new challenges with a different company. Perhaps we want more money. Perhaps we want to move to a different location. Lots of reasons, of course, for wanting a new job. Koji, pleased to meet you, and I'll speak to you later in this class. I'm going to try again to say hello to Dimitri. Hello, Dimitri.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. It's my last class of the day, and I have to say it is a beautiful, beautiful day here in Tennessee. It's pretty cold, but it's pretty good. Where are you from, Dimitri?
I'm from Ukraine, the Central Europe.
Ukraine, very nice. Okay. And what are you working or are you studying right now?
I am a student.
Okay. What are you studying?
I study on English department in Pedagogical University.
Okay. Can you tell me again, please?
I study in Pedagogical University on English department.
Oh, English. Oh, right. Okay. Fantastic. And so tell me, when you finished your studies, what do you want to do?
First of all, I'm dreaming to go abroad.
Where would you like to go?
I don't know exactly, but it may be Australia, it may be United States of America.
Okay. Both beautiful places to explore and work and live and have a good time. So, well, I wish you good luck with that. But also, I'm really glad to welcome you to this Verpling class, and we'll look forward to hearing your views later on as well. I'm going to say hello to one more person, and that is Felice? Hello, Felice. Is it Felice or Felice? Tell me. Yeah. I can't hear you yet, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to hear you later on. Now then, so we're going to, very simply, we're going to practice the kinds of questions that you get in a job interview. And these are the kinds of questions, especially if you have a job interview with an English-speaking company, or if you're in an English-speaking country. So if we're in the United States, or the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, any of those places, it's very likely that you'll get some of these questions. These are pretty basic, classic questions you get in job interviews. It's also the case that with these, well, for example, I had a student I was helping who was living in Moscow, but working for a European company. I know I've had two of those students. One worked for Volvo Trucks, so that was a Swedish company. One worked for Renault, and that was a French company. So two European companies working with their business in Moscow, Russia, and they used English as their language because English is often the language of business that's used all over the world. So these were great examples where people, well, these students, they weren't moving. They still lived in their home country and still spoke their first language, but at work they had to use English when speaking with managers, giving presentations, talking with colleagues, and maybe members of their team. So they needed English for work reasons, and that's something I always try to work really hard to help English students with. Of course, if you simply want a job in an English-speaking country like the UK or the United States, well, again, it's very likely you'll come across some of these classic job interview questions. First thing I want to do is ask all of you a question, and really my first question is, when you go for a job interview, what does the employer want to know about you? What are they wondering when you walk into the room or open up on Skype? What do they want to know about you?
How I'm going to be in 5 years.
Right. Okay. Let's put that one on there. So, where am I? Oops. Going to be in 5 years. I like that one. Okay. What else?
Salary.
No, salary. And so what are they wondering? What is the employer wondering about salary? What's their question? What are they thinking about? Sorry, Dimitri, I interrupted. What are they asking about salary?
Expected salary.
Mm-hmm. So we've got salary. Oops, if I can spell it. There we go. Okay, we've got salary. Where am I going to be in 5 years? What else are they wondering about?
Experience.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Let me put that one down. That's a very good one. I mean, they're definitely wondering about that. Okay. What else?
If you change the located and they ask, are you willing to change located?
Okay.
Location?
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. How do we put that? So if we're willing to move to a different city.
You are multitasking and working under pressure.
Oh, I like that one. That's a nice one. Okay, can I work under pressure? And can I multitask? People tell me that I certainly can't multitask, which is why I find it so hard to use this chat box, but there you go. So can I work under pressure? Yes, go on.
Are you a good team player?
Fantastic. Mina, thank you for bringing that one up. I think that's a really important one. Okay, yeah, so am I a good team player? We've got a lot of good stuff already. Is there anything else you can think of that they want to know about
Courses.
you? Courses? Tell me more about that.
I didn't get ask. Nobody asked me this question before. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's in resume, so he wouldn't ask me this question.
About courses? Do you mean about qualifications or something different?
Yes, qualifications that I achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, what qualifications do I have, or do I hold? But do I have is okay. Qualifications, okay. It's a good list. It's a good list. Is there one more thing we can think of?
Why you are willing to move to the company?
Oh, I mean, why do you want? Why do you want the job? Is that our question? Or why do you want to leave your current job? Yeah. And I mean that's a good question. And it's the sort of question, if you're in a job interview and if you don't prepare and they say, well, you know, why are you so unhappy with your current job? Why do you want to leave that? You have to prepare an answer for that. You have to prepare a good answer for that, because if you haven't prepared, well, it's very easy to give them all kinds of reasons why you don't like your current job, and that's a bad reason to give when you're going for a second job, because employers don't want to hear about the problems you've had in your current position. They only want to hear good things. Okay, so let me put both those down. Why do you want a job, or this job rather? That's important. And why do you, oops, to leave your current job? Both pretty good questions. Okay, I think we've got a good list there. We've got a good list. Let me tell you, there are really there's really four things that any employer wants to know about you. Okay, I think, yeah, that's really good. The questions that you've given me, these are all questions that fit into what I think of as the four categories for what they really want to know. And the four things are: can you do the job? Right? Okay, they have to know that. Can you do the job? Number two, will you fit in? And will you fit in as in, you know, are you going to get along with the other members of staff? And that's important whether it's a company of 5 people or a company of 5,000 people. It's still so important. So can you do the job? Will you fit in? Do you want the job? And that includes, you know, where do you think you're going to be in 5 years? Things like that. And, well, let's see. Oh, the last one, and I think, was it, might have been Dimitri that mentioned, someone mentioned salary. And that's exactly right. The last one is, well, how much do you cost, right? So, can you do the job? Will you fit in? That's, do you want to do the job? And how much do you cost? Let's look at that first one. The first one, can you do the job? Now, if you're in a job interview, is the interviewer, are they going to ask that out loud? I mean, are they really going to say, oh, hi, welcome, can you do the job? Are they going to ask that?
No.
Why not?
Because if they ask this, of course you are going to tell them yes, for sure I can.
Well, you know what? That's very true, because you're right. It's a yes/no question. You know, you can say yes or no, and of course we'll say yes. And yes/no questions aren't
because if they
very
ask
helpful.
this, of course you are going to tell them yes. For sure I can.
Well, you know what? That's very true.
I think that's it's a very good point. First of all.
Because if they ask this,
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, maybe you'll just say yes. Second of all, I have to say, with an English-speaking job interview or an English-speaking country or company, that question is very direct. You know, can you do the job? And in fact, it's really too direct. It might even sound quite rude. And I have had a lot of job interviews, and I've conducted a lot of job interviews. And can you do the job? I've never heard it. No one's ever asked me. Thank goodness, no one's ever asked me. And I've also never asked the question in a job interview. But my goodness, surely it's the #1 thing that any interviewer wants to find out. So tell me, what if they don't ask, can you do the job? What questions do they ask to find out, can you do the job? What sort of things are they going to ask you?
Work experience.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Maybe other qualifications,
If it's about
soft skills.
They also asking
course,
about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They also asking about where you strong at, where are your weaknesses.
Ah, fantastic, Eric. Thank you so much. That was very good. I like strengths and weaknesses. I think that's always an interesting thing to practice talking about. Strengths and weak. Okay, so work experience, qualifications, strengths and weaknesses. Anything else?
I think that it is about your useful for the company. They want to know what can you do for their company.
They absolutely do know. They absolutely want to know that. But what's their question?
About
how
Oh. Yeah, Mina, go ahead.
if we hired you, what you can add for our company.
Right, very nice, and that's a pretty direct and forceful question, and I think in some businesses that they're going to be more subtle than that, but in other businesses, especially for example, of course, in sales, if you want a job selling things, they're going to be more direct and more forceful because they want someone who is confident, especially someone who is confident and calm under pressure, and can give a good answer because of course if you sell things, people are always going to be asking you difficult questions. So I like that one. Let's put that one in there. What will you, how will you, I should just say the way you said it, right? How will you add value to, our company, for example, right? Okay, so again, we have these are some good things they can ask about when they're looking to discover, okay, can she do the job, right? Let me have a look at my list of questions and let's see if they are the same. I think they're pretty close. Oh yeah, okay. The very first thing that you gave me as a class was they're going to ask about qualifications and about experience. And so I would say question number one, not in the order they're going to ask it, but in terms of importance, if they want to know, can you do the job? Hey, the first thing they're going to ask is, what are your key skills, right? What are your key skills? Tell me, does anybody want to try answering that question?
I think it's like soft skills.
It could be. It could be. Okay. Well, Mina, tell me if someone, if you're in an interview and someone asks you, oh, tell me, sir, what are your key skills? What are you going to tell them?
I don't know. Maybe I can talk about anything I can do, any software I deal with.
This is the personal skill or the work skills?
Sure. One second, Mina. I think we have two Minas. It's quite difficult. Mina, sorry, carry on. You mentioned the software skills. So if this is your question, what are your key skills? What specific things would you talk about?
I'll talk about any program I can deal with. Any courses I get a skill in, like for example art. I took a course in artwork and design, advertising concept, color theory. So I will talk about what I took as courses.
Okay, and I think that's a really good thing to talk about, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because if you apply for a job, in 99% of cases, you'll send in you send in a bit of paper, right, with all your with your qualifications. Resume, very good. And if you're applying to a British company, we would call that a CV. But in the United States and other English-speaking countries, it's just called a resume. It's pretty much the same thing. Pretty much. Not exactly the same, but for our purposes, either we'll use a CV or a resume. So the thing is, in terms of skills and qualifications, well, didn't we give that to them? Didn't we write down all those things? So if we provided our skills and experiences on a CV or a resume, and they have it in front of them, they have it all written down. Why are they asking about those things? Because they do. But why do they ask if you've already given that to them on paper?
This is sort of interview. They want to know who we are or who I am, and that is the reason they want to hear from me about my job experience or my personal skills and what I have ability to do and those kind of two things. It's a small chatting, and they also see our body language gesture. This is also important for them because maybe we are anxious or we are so calm. They can analyze if it fits this job or not.
Yeah, and Mina, I think that's an excellent answer. Because we know they already have the information, but yeah, they absolutely they want to hear you say it as well. Because sure, maybe they have, and I'm sure they will. They'll have your application, not like looking like that, but they'll have an application. They'll have your CV or your resume, or of course, in a lot of instances, you can fill that out online and submit it. So maybe they have it on their computer screen in front of them, but they still want to hear that from you because they've got the computer version of you, or they've got the paper version of you, but they want to make sure that that fits with the real you, with the reality of you. And you're right, they'll be checking to make sure that what you say in the interview matches what's on paper. And they'll be, they don't want to see inconsistencies. That they don't want to trip you up. They're not asking trick questions. Every time someone comes for an interview, when I've interviewed people, I want that person to be the one for the job. I want them to be perfect. So they're not trick questions. But of course, if someone, if I ask someone about their skills and experiences, and they tell me something that's different to what's on their resume or their CV or application, it's going to be a little unsettling for me, and maybe I'll have to ask a second question. Maybe I'll say, well, that's not what you've got on your resume, and so we need to be consistent, and that's what they're looking for. They want you to, because if they like your resume, then of course that's why you've got the interview. So they want you to be as good or even better as your resume. Yes.
Yeah. Also during the interview, we explain with detail what we had do in the past and what we want to do the new job. This is the more detailed conversation, and the CV they eliminate first time who is the best quality, who is the not fit this job, and when we submit the CV, it's just like first step. If we pass this step and then to get the interview, they looking for more detail, and they analyze just not job experience, also personal skill, I think so.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Mina, I think that's a really good answer. It's absolutely true that maybe they'll ask things they already know from your application, but of course we can't fit everything onto an application or a resume. So they'll be, maybe they'll pick something on your resume and say, oh, can you tell us more about that? Or I can see you worked for this company in 2007. Tell us about that experience. There's not much on your resume. What else can you tell us? Or tell us about, I see you've listed a software skill or a programming skill on your resume. Well, tell me about your experience using that. And of course, they want more details. They want more information in the things that they're looking for, because of course there are key things that they want in terms of the skills and experience for the person who's going to get this job. And so it's your job in that interview to make sure that you can demonstrate to them that you have the skills they're looking for. And of course, I'm sure you're going to have those things, and you're going to prepare for those things by making sure you've read either the job advertisement or the job specifications they send out for the job, and you're going to make sure that you are an excellent match for what they're looking for. Absolutely. Okay, so skills and experience. Let me see if I can find another question. Ah, there we go. Oh, and sorry, I have to say, by the way, when I was speaking with Mina was giving me some good examples, talking about software programs and about specific qualifications. Absolutely, my advice to you is to be specific. Give them specific evidence and talk about your current job or your previous job, and make that connection. Make the connection from what you're doing now or what you did in the past and what they're looking for, right? So if they're asking about your key skills, well, you've done your homework. You know that what they're looking for is maybe key skills in MySQL, if we're talking about programming. And so you can say, oh, well, I'm very skilled in SQL, and I can see that's something you're looking for. And if you give me this job, I can use my excellent skills to deliver good value, to deliver good programs, that kind of thing. So let me just copy something into the chat box as advice.
Can I ask something?
Of course you can. Mina, go ahead.
What if my courses and skills is not related with the job that I'm applying for?
Well, it's more difficult then to. Do you mean because you know you studied in one area and now you want a job in a different kind of business?
Exactly.
It's a great question. It is possible, of course, because people change careers. People change the kinds of jobs that they work in. It makes it a little bit more difficult, of course, because you know if you've been studying and you've got great work experience, and we'll continue with our example with if you're a software developer, for example, you're you're a software developer today. And you want to be a software developer tomorrow. Of course, it's very simple in a job interview to say, well, this is what I've studied. I have qualifications in this. This is where I've been working for the last 5 years, and I want a new challenge in the same business. That tells a very simple story for someone interviewing you, that they can see, okay, well, here's someone who's been doing this for a long time, and it's clear that this is what they want to do. If you're looking to change your job, well, it's not impossible, not at all. People change the kinds of things they do all the time, and especially now in the 21st century, it's very common to have 3 or 4, even 5 different careers in your lifetime. It's not how it was 50 years ago or 100 years ago when you had one job and you worked and then you retired. Not at all, because the economy moves a lot more quickly, things are advancing more quickly, and we need to, you know, at any age of your working career, you might need to retrain, you might need to learn a new skill. But that means if you're looking for a job in a different kind of business, it's going to be very important for you to focus not so much on your specific experience, but on the types of skills that you have. And you will need to give them, if you get an interview, clearly they think you are a potential sort of winner of this job, right? They're not going to give you an interview if they think it's a hopeless case, right? But if they give you the interview, you have an opportunity here to give them evidence and to demonstrate that, okay, well, I wasn't doing this before, but I want to do it now, and I'm going to be good at this, and I'm very good at learning new skills. I'm not someone that you need to tell, you know, you don't have to tell me how to do something twice. I pick things up very quickly. So if you're looking for work in a new area, it's going to be very important for you to persuade the job interviewer that this is something that you can do, right? And that could be picking up new skills. It could be that you're very adaptable, that you're a very fast learner, things like that. And also, of course, you need to explain why you're changing careers. And again, that could be something as simple as doing your homework, you know, in terms of the company that you have an interview with, and tell them all the reasons you want to work for them. And that's in our sort of motivation area of job interviewing. So lots of people change careers, but the most successful ones are ones who are able to show there's a good reason for them changing their careers, and and also to persuade people that yes, I can learn these new things. Okay, I wasn't doing it yesterday, but I want to do it today, and I'll keep on doing it tomorrow. Because, of course, if you do change, and I've changed careers twice in my life, and I've been able to do that, but only by persuading people that it's a natural move for me, and then I can deliver some value for them as well. So it's difficult, but lots of people are doing it more and more. In fact, people are doing it because you have to, because the business you're in, we suffer a world or a global recession. I guess we need to find something else to do. So you know, this is happening all over the world. So, but a great question, Mina. Thank you so much for pointing that out.
Thanks a lot.
No problem at all. Okay, I want to throw another question up here, and this question is still. This is still about, oh, can you do the job? They're not going to ask you, can you do the job? But they could definitely ask this question. Again, this is quite a direct question, and I'm going to put it on the chat board there. Why are you the best person for the job? Is that a fair question for them to ask, do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's a really good question to ask, and I haven't always asked it when I've interviewed people, but I think it's a good question. If you get a question like that, and this is for everybody here, if you get a question like that, how do you answer it?
Anybody?
Any ideas?
You can repeat the question, teacher, please?
Yeah, sure. The question, it's in the chat box, and the question is, why are you the best person for the job?
Because I am a person who have the desire, a passion for my job, and always focus on my goal to try to achieve the goal of organization. I can work under pressure. I can be focused on different tasks at the same times. I focus oriented detail, and I good memory skills.
Okay. Well, and these are all very positive things to talk about. Of course, we're going to need to be specific. For example, if we say, oh well, I have excellent attention to detail, or I have perfect punctuality, I always turn up, or if I make a promise, I always deliver on that promise, or I have wonderful communication skills. These are all things we can talk about, but if we just say these things, you know, where's the evidence? Where's the proof, right? So you're right, Eric. I think these are really good. That's a really good selection of things you could talk about when someone says, why are you the best person? But we'll need to give them some evidence, and we do that by giving examples. Now sometimes I feel a little bit unsure about a question like that. I think, okay, well, why are you the best person for the job? And then I think, well, it's hard. It's hard for us. Sometimes it's hard for us to just sit there and say, well, I'm the best person for the job because I'm fantastic at these things, because I have such wonderful skills, and because I'm just such an excellent candidate for this kind of work. Is it easy to talk like that? Is it natural to tell people how wonderful you are?
Can I say what I can do?
Oh, sure. Yeah, Mina, go ahead.
Okay, I can say what I'm going to do in my company. For example, I got passionate about networking, and I took a lot of courses in networking. So I can say, for example, I can install, configure, and operate LAN, WAN, and dial access service for a small network, including etc. You know, talking about what technical stuff I can do.
And Mina,
right?
Yeah. Well, I think the point. You give that example of having a passion or enthusiasm for a type of work. I have to say, especially with an English-speaking company, if you have a passion for something, then show it. Then tell them and give them evidence to support the passion, right? If you're passionate, show it. Yeah, because because a lot of the time, the person asking you these questions, they're going to share that passion, right? Because they're in that line of work. So again, you know, if you're a software developer or a programmer, and you could say, for example, oh, well, I developed my first program when I was 7 years old. My parents bought me this huge computer, and I started playing with it, and I started developing programs. So even as a child, I fell in love with doing this kind of work. That's a great story to tell, and I think it's a wonderful idea to talk about. If you're passionate about work, this kind of work, whatever it is, would absolutely tell them, absolutely, because you know, if we seem bored, if we seem that we're not interested in the work at an interview, my goodness, well, how can we prove that we'll be interested on Monday morning when we need to turn up and do the job? So show some passion, absolutely. I want to let me check my notes on this one. Yeah, I wanted to mention, because sometimes it's difficult. Let me put it this way: it can be difficult to be as self-confident as you need to be in a job interview, because there is only one person who can sell you at a job interview, and that's you. No one else is going to walk in and say, oh no, really, he's fantastic, or she's fantastic, you should hire that one. Only you can do that. So there's some pressure on you to sit up straight and tall, and as Mina said earlier, use the body language to demonstrate and to explain just how fantastic you are. But it's not a natural thing for us to do. This is not a natural way for us to speak. If you went up to someone in a bar or at a dinner party, or you met a member of your wife or husband's family and started saying, well, I am just fantastic and I'm the best person ever. If you do that, you're probably going to have less friends, because people don't like it. They don't like it, and we know they don't like it. So it feels uncomfortable to make a show of ourselves, to seem so self-confident. If you're uncomfortable talking about yourself in that way, my advice to you is to talk about other people describing you in that way. For example, you can, when you're preparing for an interview, think about what other people would say about you. Think about, ask yourself, what would my boss say, my current boss or previous bosses or people in my school, what would they say about my timekeeping, my attention to detail, my creativity, my team working skills? What would they say? And of course, what did they say? Think about the nice things, think about the compliments or the positive feedback you've received from your boss, from the other people you work with, members of your team, from people you studied with, maybe from customers, right, when you've delivered products. And you have a great opportunity in a job interview to tell these stories, because when you tell the story of someone else saying how fantastic you are, it looks a lot less arrogant than you just sitting there and saying, well, I am fantastic for the following reasons. So use third parties, basically, just as if you need a reference, of course, for a job. Imagine that referee has come in, just walked in, and is saying all these nice things about you. You have to say them yourself, of course, but it gives credibility to what you say, because of course it's someone else in business or education that's reporting on these things. So I'm just going to add that to the chat box so that we have it for the record, as it were. Here we go.
Teacher, you can put in the Google chat too the information.
I have to stick to the Verbling chat for some reason. That is my instructions on Verbling. Are you unable to find the Verbling chat? Oh, it's because it's in the classroom, right? I'll look at the guidance that they gave me to see. But I think I should be using the Verbling chat. I'll read it out though right now, okay? Your answer should communicate self-confidence, but avoid sounding arrogant. Talk about observations other people have made about your work, talents, or successes. So really, it's just an opportunity for you to bring other people into the conversation. Yeah. All right, let me find a third question for you. Now this one was mentioned before. It looks like two questions, but really it's one. And this question is, what are your strengths and where do you need to improve? That second part, okay, really, it's what are your weaknesses? But it's quite rare that people will ask that question these days. They're much more likely to say, well, where do you need to get better, right? So I'm going to put that question again on the in the chat. What are your strengths and where do you need to improve? Well, first of all, let's take what seems like the positive part. What are your strengths? This is for anybody here. How would you answer that? How do you answer what are your strengths?
Okay. I can answer that?
Of course you can, Eric. Go ahead.
Okay. And my strength, I am very punctually, and when I say something, I try to I can say complete. When I say something, I try to do it. And
right. Okay. And let me just put in there. You deliver your promises. Okay. So
okay, I deliver my promise, and I am hardworking person. And also when I receive feedback, I try to listen. I don't try to discuss with the people giving the feedback, to give me advice for something I do wrong in the jobs. I have a good listening skill, and I try to follow the manual or try to follow the routine for doing well my job.
Eric, I think those are all really good things to talk about, and I love the example you gave. You said, okay, well, I have good listening skills, but you gave that little story about, okay, well, when people give me feedback, for example, I'm going to listen carefully to that and perhaps act on it. So that's a good way, because of course we could say, I have good listening skills, but if you give an example, it just sounds so much better. So Eric, thank you for those details.
I can say I receive a positive feedback. I am good listener and I try to follow them.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. And so I really especially like that example. So strengths. Well, strengths, that seems relatively simple, right? And to be honest, when they ask what are your strengths, you're going to be thinking to yourself, because you prepared for this interview and you're going to know the top 3 things that they're looking for, because that was in the job advertisement. So when you talk about your strengths, hey, if you're an excellent tennis player, you're probably not going to need to mention that one. You really want to make sure that if you pick 3 things that you say, well, these are my key strengths, if they're not connected to the job that you're applying for, you need to find some other strengths to talk about, because you can be fantastic at all kinds of things, but if it doesn't help them fix their problem, if it doesn't help that company make more money, they're not interested. And if you talk about something that they're not interested in, you're wasting a couple of minutes of your job interview. So make sure it's specific with evidence, and make sure your answers are connected. Make sure your examples, your strengths are connected to what they're looking for. There's a parallel between your answer and what they want. Okay? And that, if you prepare well for a job interview, and of course if you're a good match for the job that they're looking for to fill, that can be relatively simple to do. Okay, you just need to do your preparation work, and if you do prepare for your interview, you stand a better chance of getting that job, right? And then you just have to worry about doing it in a second language as well. But it's important with these English-speaking companies, they're looking for experience. They're looking for examples. They're looking for you to tell them a story, and they're looking for you to make it easy for them to hire you, right? Really, every single question is, why should we hire you? Why should we hire you? So think about that. Why should we give you the job? Every answer you give should be saying to them, this is why you want me, right? So, okay, well, that was the strengths one. The other one, which is really what are your weaknesses, but a lot of the time they'll say, where do you need to improve? That sounds like a difficult question. I mean, can anyone tell me how we answer where do you need to improve?
Is my weak point, but in so hard question.
It seems like a hard question,
Tricky.
doesn't it? Yeah, tricky. It's tricky if we don't prepare for a job interview, if we don't prepare to answer that question. It's a terrible question. We're praying they don't ask that question. But if we prepare, we're ready for it, and we can give a very positive answer to this question. Does anyone want to try answering this question? Where do you need to improve? Does anyone want to try that one?
May I?
Eric, go for it. If you're happy to do it, sure thing.
I need to improve, for example, to be more patient with people. I need to be more. I have to be. Sometimes I am to be more rigid, to be more rigido. I can say rigido, rigid.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
So
you mentioned.
People,
carry on.
On person, I have to follow a rule to strict. I should be sometimes the job so strict and following the rules. I need to be more flexible, and I need to be more carefully when I speak with other coworker, because sometimes I played a joke and the people get hurt.
Right.
And I try to right now to think before I speak, because sometimes when I am relaxed and I speak with the other co-worker, I make a joke and some people get hurt by my jokes. Yes, I need to be more careful when I speak with the other co-worker and the free time.
Okay. Let's focus on that key example. You know, we're thinking, oh, well, what do you need to improve? And one part of your answer is, well, I need to work on my relationships with colleagues. I need to make sure that I don't upset them, that I don't say the wrong thing to the people. I don't want to hurt their feelings, right? If that's the limit of your answer, and you're applying for a job where customer service is really important, where teamwork is really important, do you think your answer is good news or bad news for that interviewer?
Maybe it could be a bad news.
Okay, how can we make it good news?
Maybe I can say what you said. Give it for example, and I have to be more careful when I speak with my coworker. And because I don't want to be upset with them, and I want to be work like a family with them.
Okay, right. I think that's a little bit better. I think. I have to say, you know, a question like this, where do you need to improve? They're looking for a real weakness. I mean, for example, if we say something like, "Oh, I just work too hard," or "I just care too much about my job," or I am a perfectionist. I make everyone feel bad because I'm just so good at everything I do. If we give them something like that,
yes, thank you.
No, that's
a good example.
No, these are all terrible. Okay, don't go with those. These are all because they're not real, right? That person does not exist. And if you say something like that, you know, I'm just too good. I work too hard. Well, it sounds like a lie, right? Because the truth is, we all have things that we're bad at. We're all human. You don't have to be perfect to get the job. It helps if you're a perfect match for the job. But you know, if they ask what you need to improve, we need to be honest. We need to give them something that's real. But if we're talking,
example,
of course. Well, the example could be. It could be about wanting to improve the way you improve your team working skills. But of course, if we're giving that example, a good way to be honest with that, or a good way to talk about that, is to say, well, when I was at university or in college, I had some trouble with my team working relationships. Sometimes I upset people with the things I said. And then as a result of that, I started to work on that, and today I'm much better at it. I know I don't upset people. I'm very diplomatic when I talk to people, and I think about other people's feelings before I open my mouth, because I know it's important for the morale of the team. It's important for the relationships. So that, you know, if you give an example like that, well, then you've told them about something you were bad at, but it's not an example of something you were bad at yesterday, because if it's something that's very recent, that doesn't really help you, because, you know, things that you need to improve, pick something that's honest and straight. I mean, be honest. We all have things we're bad at, but try to avoid something that's related to the 3 key things that they want in the job. Pick something that's much less relevant and make it real, but also tell them about how you're improving it, right?
Thank you, teacher.
Tell them about how maybe you're doing a training course. Maybe you're looking online and teaching yourself how to be better. And that goes for everybody. I'm out of time, of course. I always run out of time here on Verbally. We're going to keep going with this next week. We'll look again. We'll look at give you some as much practice.
Class teacher.
Yeah, as much practice as you like on skills and experience. Teamworking.
My question is, when is your next class?
I think it's the same time next week, but check the schedule, and you can check my Facebook page as well, which is on the class description, and I'll have details there as well. So thank you very much for everyone who's answered questions, everyone who's taken part in the discussion. Thank you so much. I can't do it without you. So please come again next time, and we'll continue to talk about job interview skills.
Very nice class.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Very useful class. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. Good luck, and I'll see you again soon.